Hello everybody, my name is Mr. Cricket, and I'm sure we've all seen episode 6, so as a quote-unquote tribute to V, I'll be power scaling her. As usual, common power scaling terms will be used. Check the Versus Battles wiki if you do not know them. To give a little backstory, V was once a worker drone, now disassembly drone, that used to work in Iliad Manor as a maid before being sent to the distant exoplanet known as Copper 9 as a disassembly drone on a mission to murder or disassemble the worker drones present on Copper 9 and eliminate the threat of the Absolute Solver. So, without further ado, let's begin. To start us off, I'll go over durability. From episode 2 and 5, we know that V used to be a worker drone and then was later turned into a disassembly drone. From episode 1, we're told that worker drones survived the explosion of Copper 9, which was powerful enough to affect the entire planet and sending it into an ice age for years to come. The cause of the explosion was also the planet's core collapse, which should put the explosion's attack potency at large planetary since Copper 9 is an exoplanet. In order to no-cell the explosion, the worker's durability would have to be a lot higher than the attack potency of the explosion. We'll go with ×2 large planetary as a lowball. This is only the durability of worker drone V, and when she gets turned into a disassembly drone, she physically outclasses worker drones as shown multiple times. Being able to take hits from N who can tear through worker drones like butter, she would be vastly more durable as a disassembly drone, which would mean 4 times large planetary, going off of the same logic applied to the explosion tanking feat. Some would try to say that disassembly drones simply have resistance to explosions and that is how they survive the explosion, but it is proven false when N literally kills a worker drone with his missile in episode 1, so tanking that explosion was through sheer durability and not any resistances. Moving on to strength, I'll split it into 2 categories, lifting strength and striking strength. V doesn't really have any lifting strength feats in the show, but she could possibly scale to N, who would have class K lifting strength due to the hydraulic door feat and the throwing Uzi feat, which I got my calcs from Unhelpful Commentary's comment section. But there's really nothing that suggests she scales to N in lifting strength, so for now, her lifting strength is unknown. For striking strength, V is able to easily tear through worker drones, who should all have ×2 large planetary durability. V can also damage a solver amped Uzi, who could also one-shot worker drones easily. V can slice off N's head in one hit, and if we scale N's durability like we did for V, she would have 4 times large planetary striking strength at the bare minimum. On the subject of V's speed, I'll be splitting it into 4 categories: reaction speed, combat speed, attack speed, and travel speed. V can be easily scaled to N in reaction speed and combat speed. She's able to fight on par with him in episode 1, and she was evenly matched with him, if not slightly winning. N can react to light speed lasers from V herself in episode 1, putting his reaction speed at faster than light, which will be referred to as FTL from now on. V would then scale to this, which also gives her FTL reaction speed, and since combat speed would scale to reaction speed, this gives her FTL combat speed as well. Attack speed refers to how fast a character's attack can move. In V's case, her attack speed varies depending on her weapon. She has access to guns, missiles, blades, claws, and laser beams. For the guns, bullets travel at over Mach 2, putting them into the supersonic tier of speed, whereas missiles, or rockets I should say, travel at 117 up to 294 meters per second, which is subsonic to subsonic plus, or faster than the eye can see. Her laser beams obviously travel at the speed of light, and the speed of her blade or claw attacks depend on her combat speed, which is FTL. Now, for travel speed, on foot, we can assume V has the same travel speed as a human, but with her wings, she gets much faster. V can be scaled to N, and N's travel speed with the wings can be calculated. When N threw Uzi, she reached a comfortable 2,363 meters in the air. From when N took off to when Uzi saw him during the fall, It took roughly 18 seconds for N to reach her from ground level. Speed is equal to distance over time, so 263 divided by 18 is equal to 131.2 meters per second, or subsonic. So V, going off of N, would also be subsonic in travel speed with her wings. For V's attack potency, or AP, she is able to easily tear through worker drones like butter, which would grant her 2 times large planetary AP from this feat alone. And V is also shown to be capable of hurting a Solver amped up Uzi in episode 4 and completely slicing off her arm. It's pretty obvious that Solver Uzi is superior to a worker, and Solver Uzi could decapitate workers with her bare hands and one-shot them similarly to how the disassembly drones do, which should also give her 2 times large planetary AP. We can multiply that by 7.5 times to account for the one-shot, but I'll be multiplying that by 3.25 times since the area attacked is a factor, and the neck is a lot easier to break than the torso. We end up with 6.5 times large planetary for Solver Uzi's AP and striking strength, which can then be translated over to 6.5 times large planetary durability. And V can hurt Solver Uzi, giving her 6.5 times large planetary AP as well. Do note that this feat is performed with her claws, so her base AP with just her fist would likely be a bit lower. As for her other weapons, we only know that her gun can one-shot workers in the head, which would be 6.5 times large planetary. Her missiles would have lower AP since Lazy survived one at point-blank range, and her other weapons can't really be scaled as of now. As you've probably noticed, V has access to a variety of weapons that aid her in combat and worker genocide. These weapons include blades, claws, SMGs, laser beams or laser cutters, missile launchers, a tail filled with nanite acid, metallic wings, and chainsaws, along with likely everything that N and J have shown off, since it is implied that disassembly drones have the same equipment near the end of episode 5, which would be ninja stars and EMPs. I've already mentioned most of these weapons in the AP section, with the exception of nanite acid tail, metallic wings, and her chainsaws, mostly due to the fact that they would scale the same as the blades and claws, so there'd be no point. All of these weapons, except for her wings and the tail, are stored inside of her arms, and she can swap between them at a moment's notice. As to how they actually store all of this inside of her arms is beyond me. Alongside all of her weaponry, V also has access to a healing factor or regeneration. This regeneration is quite strong as well. V is able to reattach lost limbs and heal severe brain damage in mere seconds. We can also scale her to N, who can regenerate his whole head after it was blown off in several seconds as well. This would put her regeneration in the very nice mid-tier, from being able to regenerate severe head trauma in seconds. She also has a means of neutralizing the nanite acid from her tail if it was ever used against her, that being her saliva. As shown with N, disassembly drone saliva have the ability to neutralize the nanites from their tails, so V should be capable of the same thing. One last thing, Uzi was shown to have become V and N's new administrator, meaning that she can unblock their absolute solver strings and give them access to it. See my doll or Uzi video for more information on absolute solver. There's also one more thing that I'd like to mention for the V fans that are crying over the end of episode 6. So we know that V sacrificed herself at the end of episode 6, but there's really no way she dies here unless Liam or Glitch wants her to die for the plot, as she has everything in her favor to survive. V can regenerate if she takes damage, and even if they manage to kill her, I don't believe they'll get past her Eldritch form that easily. Uzi even states that if V is killed, she'll end up like J in episode 2. There's even a possibility that V will manage to take out one or more of the Sentinels. So no, V is not dead, and she'll definitely be surviving this. Oh, and as for the title of the video, yeah, she's pretty efficient. And that concludes this video. If you're still here, thank you for sticking around until the end. I have some more videos on my channel, feel free to check those out. Again, V is likely not going to die. Please stop crying about it because I'm getting tired of it. Like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to my channel for more of these types of videos, and have a great day or night. I'll see you all later.